Hello, and welcome to another one of our Moments with the Pastor. I am a student of history. I like to read history, and I love to read about World War II and the Cold War and the things of my parents and my time. And one of the interesting things I read about recently is about poison. One of the things that the Russian spies did after the Second World War is they would take uh, these agents would be given little bits of poison every day, a little bit at a time, with an increasing dosage until they actually became inoculated against the poison. And therefore, when they wanted to kill one of the enemy spies or someone else, they would poison a bottle of wine or something and share it with them and the other person would die and they would live. They became impervious to the deadly effects of the poison because they could take it into their system a little bit at a time. We use that positively as well. When we get vaccinated for the regular flu, we get a little bit of that live virus and we get it year after year after year, and it actually strengthens our body so that we can live with that virus and not suffer in a fatal way. That's one of the things about the COVID vaccine that's a little concerning. It's not a live virus, it's a synthetic, and it fools our body into reacting and strengthening our antibodies in there to fight a virus that's really not in us. But eventually, if we're going to capture COVID like we have other diseases, we're going to have to inoculate ourselves with a live virus. Well, in a sense, that's a spiritual reality we all have to face. When John is writing to the saints at the end of the New Testament era, he says, "Do not love the world or the things of the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the desires of the flesh and the desires of the eyes and the pride of life, is not from the Father, but is from the world. And the world is passing away with all of its lusts. But the one who does the will of God abides forever." Now, of course, when John or Jesus or others talk about the world, they don't mean the physical creation, which is a good thing. They mean the fallen human culture. The world set against God and against the church. And John says, don't get inoculated by the world. Don't take in little bits of the world comfortably until you become more and more worldly and the love of God is no longer in you. But rather, the New Testament writers say, do the opposite. Take in consistent little bits of God's word, of the sacraments, of fellowship with Christians, of worship in the church, of prayer, of meditation, of fasting and biblical reading and so forth, so that these things go into your soul and strengthen you against the virus called the world. The more time we spend in the world, whether it's on the internet, whether it's on a blog, whether it's out at the workplace or in the secular university, the more we're getting little bits of that poison until we are unable to really tell that we've been infected at a deadly level. But to counteract that, we have what the Bible and theologians refer to as the means of grace, the grace of God given to us that can be taken in consistent doses so that we are strengthened against these things. We'll be able to tell when we're being told a lie. We'll be able to discern when a certain narrative is false. We'll be able to spot a heresy or an immorality or temptation as it comes to us. And it's just a matter of good biblical medicine, of the care of the soul, to be in the Word and to be in prayer and to be in fellowship and to be in church on Sunday. I'm telling you, a good dose of an hour's worth of church every Sunday can strengthen you, can inoculate you against the viruses of the world more than you realize. We've suffered from that a little bit because of COVID and the virtual thing, but it's still there for us. Our small groups, our fellowship with a friend over lunch, reading the Bible, listening to hymns and singing in our family worship together. We can do this and be strengthened because we don't want to one day wake up and find out that the love of God is no longer in us because the love of the world has captured our hearts and we didn't even know it was happening. So don't be poisoned. Be healthy. And use what God's given you to grow in the grace and knowledge of Jesus Christ, because your soul depends on it. God bless you. Till I see you again. Take care.